House Majority Whip, California Congressman Kevin McCarthy. Good morning, Congressman. Good to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me.
You know, what do you think about that? The president's asking for more time. A lot of people, I think, at home listen to that and say, gosh, you know, this would be the second extension we've already had on this, which was supposed to be a make-or-break push to come to some agreement before the end of the year.
Well, look, the whole idea of sequestration was the president's idea. The House actually passed last year twice a way to find the cuts with protecting the military, and the Senate ignored it and the president ignored it. Then he asked for 2 months in the fiscal cliff. Now he's asking again. That does not solve the problem. And remember, this president is just coming back to his same answer, to take more money from the taxpayers. That is not the answer. We need to get government under control and expand this economy.
You know, the thinking is that on the fiscal cliff deal, you didn't have all that much leverage, but that this time around you do. Charles Krauthammer was on special report last night with Brett Baer and basically said, you know, they need to do nothing. Republicans should sit on their hands in this one. Are you going to do that?
Well, we're not doing nothing in the sitting back, because we have passed a bill that would find the cuts to make it move forward. But we have moving forward to produce a budget that balances and actually grows the economy, where the president, for the last 5 times, has missed the deadline. We had to threaten the Senate to even talk about doing a budget because they haven't done one in 4 years with their pay. And now we're passing a bill today that asking the president to actually say when his budget would even balance. It's sad that the last 2 weeks we have to spend our time on the most basic things to get them to answer.
You know, the president said yesterday that they have already cut $2.5 trillion done in deficit reduction, that all of the things that were on the table when he tried to make a deal with John Boehner are still there. Entitlement reform, tax reform, all of that, he says, is still on the table. Come to the White House. Come speak with him. Try to hammer out a deal based on that framework. Why not?
You know how many times we've been to the White House and he pulls the football out from under you? This president could never come to an agreement. Congress has shown that they can do their action. Think for one moment. Of all the budgets the president has sent to this Capitol, it has not received one vote from a Republican or a Democrat. This president has increased spending and put deficits as $1 trillion every single year. You can't continue that. The CBO director just warned yesterday, but the amount of debt to the GDP is in dire straits, that we have to do something about it.
So what's your next move?
Well, our next move is continue. Put a budget that reforms government, expands the economy, and lets us grow. That's something that we've passed. This is sequestration that this president asked for. It is the Obama sequestration is going through on March 1st. He requested it. He has ignored it. The House has acted. The Senate has ignored it.
So you will allow sequestration to kick in on March 1st?
This is what the president asked for. These are the cuts that he requested, and that is what's moving forward.
Why do you think the president is so reluctant? I mean, he says he's willing to do entitlement reform, and, you know, why do you think he'd be reluctant to do things like means testing or to raise the age, not for people who are getting these benefits now, but for those of us who are under, 55 and who have a ways to go before they get to that point? Why do you think he doesn't want to come together with Republicans on that idea, which seems to get a lot of general support?
I think you'd get support from both sides. The president will never put it in his budget. He's never campaigned for it, and he's always fought against it in the time that it came for. He'd say he's for something, but never show what he's for. That's the challenge when he says come negotiate with him. I think what needs to happen, the House pass a budget, the Senate needs to pass a budget. They haven't done that in 4 years, and then let's start working from there. Show where the path will be, where you can make fiscal responsibility here and bring accountability back to Washington.
All right, so you're saying the sequestration would kick in on March the 1st and encouraging both sides to come forward. The Senate says they're going to put out a budget. It has been over 3 years, so we'll see what that looks like. Always good to have you with us today, the Majority Whip.
Thanks for having me.
California Congressman Kevin McCarthy. Thank you, sir.